Hey, what's going on, family? Alicia Antoinette here with the Energy Healing Channel TV. So, today I want to mix it up. I want to kind of change a little bit of the content that I'm sharing with you guys. A lot of um, the info that I've been sharing, it's it's helpful, but um, I just have this feeling of changing it up. Okay, so I'm going to actually start doing some energy readings of the day, and the tool I'm going to use are my tarot cards. Okay, so I have a few decks that I've been like kind of practicing with and feeling the energy on. There is one deck that I want to get. And once I get that one, I'll let you guys know how I like it. But I would say today and like kind of like future videos, I'm gonna be using the the Crawley Thoth deck. Okay, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you guys know what I'm saying, right? Um, so yeah, so today just happens to be the 14th, right? And um I sat my cards down like on I mean the surface wasn't super flat, but I sat them down, right? And like 14 cards slid off the top. And you know, it really depends on the person that's doing the reading. I mean, like some people don't like pulling from the top. Some people like to like spread it out and pull it from, random places, but I just thought it was really auspicious that exactly 14 cards slid off, and today's September 14th, okay? So I wanted to show you guys the cards because I was like, okay, well, this is the energy of the day. And because this is the Energy Healing Channel, I wanted to share that. I've been practicing getting familiar with the cards, and there's so many different styles of reading the cards. Like, yeah, there's like the basic meaning, but what I've learned like on my spiritual journey is like you don't want to just be programmed by somebody and their meaning of the cards, right? One technique that I do like using though is reading the colors, because it's like when you read the colors of the card, it helps to bring out the actual meaning. So here in my hand, I have the 14 cards that slid off of my deck, and we're going to go through them now. Stay tuned. Okay, family, so here are the 14 cards. So let's go ahead and take a look at each card. Now, the cards, in my opinion, they tell a story, and it was really fascinating that 14. Yeah, I don't want to keep like emphasizing that, but like it's just a really auspicious thing that happened, right? So the cards tell a story, and I remember kind of when I first got started with like reading cards, it was I was nervous because of my family programming that had me feeling like tarot cards were bad, tarot cards were evil, and all of that nonsense. But in reality, all it is just telling you what energies are either like in your way, what energies to watch out for, the energies just in your space that you probably want to clear, or like, you know, things of that nature. So let's get right into it. I don't want to lag or waste your time. So the first card is the Sun card, okay? And when I look at this card, I like to read it by the colors. So we see a lot of yellow, and just a lot of brightness. The sun rises and welcomes in a new day. So when I see the sun card, so I'm just working some energy to kind of move the energy so that I can see the meaning or the importance of this card. So the message that I'm getting from this card is shining my personal light, shining my sun sign, okay? So because we are going into the Aquarian age, I am an Aquarius, and shining my light, you know, standing on the foundation of being able to connect, but also having that detachedness, okay? Like, being detached is a good attribute, because a lot of times people get involved with things and they get too clingy. They get too involved, and they get into this situation where it's just too much, and then like things just don't go right. So I'm seeing this as a very positive reading for today, okay? So we're getting the sun, and it's also a trumps card. So if you've ever studied tarot, you know that there's I believe it's 21 trump cards, or major arcana. And with the major arcana, those are like highlights in the story, okay? And then the next card was prudence. So, and it's in the sun, and it's the sun sign of Virgo, okay? Sorry, I had to look a little closer. I don't have my glasses on. But just looking at the colors, so we see green, and we see this almost burgundy red, and we see that yellow again in this card. Okay, so obviously there is light on the path. There's growth, but have to be careful, because prudence, the word prudence, and this is in the realm of earth, okay? So it's a discs card, and so just being careful with kind of overindulgence or over saturation of things of earthly matters. But there is that potential of growth, because as we can see, there's a lot of green in this card, along with the yellow. So the yellow and the green kind of play off of each other, because yellow kind of representing the sun, representing growth, also green representing growth. And but just watching out for when things are ripe, okay? So taking advantage of the things when they are ripe. I recently saw a post that, this may be a tangent, but that Mars is going to be in retrograde. So when things are in retrograde, all that really is saying is that, you just have to be more cautious of things, okay? The next card is the Four of Swords, which is truce. And we see 4 swords here, and they're evenly balanced. We see some green, very prominent. We see blue, also prominent. This kind of yellow, I'm seeing it more as gold. So I'm seeing this kind of gold sporadically throughout. okay? And with the green, again, there's growth. When you kind of come to a balance of being neutral, when I hear the word truce, I just hear the word neutral. So becoming neutral to situations, become neutral to even the current world events, okay, of what's going on. Just being very neutral and balanced, that's going to be very key for today. And again, like, these readings are, they're going to be day by day. I want to mix it up, like I said. I think this is going to be really fun. So back to the card. So yeah, so seeing 4 swords. So the swords represent air, they represent words, they represent the unseen of what we're saying, because you can say something in totally different tones. You can say something, you can say the exact same phrase, and like it come out a totally different way for each different person, okay? So here I'm seeing that there's going to be a balance of communication. There's going to be a balance of the fifth chakra. The fifth chakra just represents communication and self-expression verbally. Also, it connects to clairaudience, hearing beings without their bodies, and things of that nature. So there's going to be a nice balance with communication. There's going to be a clarity of getting through to the other person, to another person, the ideals and ideas for the day. And the next card is the 10 of Discs. Okay, very auspicious. I've really been working a lot of energy on clearing and bringing my relationship with money into present time. A lot of us have past lives where we were, kings and queens, empress and emperors, and, and then we kind of come back into this realm, and we incarnate as someone who has to go through struggles. Now, this card is very, very beautiful. Okay, so we see yellow. Again, brightness, shining your light, calling in your own energy of light. We see purple, and there's a few variations of purple here that we see. We see some lavender, we see some more on the dark purple. We see a little bit of periwinkle, but not so much. But again, the overall theme is kind of purple and gold. These colors, when it pertains to the earth realm, it's really almost like, I keep saying the word auspicious, but it like this whole set of 14 cards that were that slid off my deck, happened in an auspicious manner. So so it's really, really cool. Like we see some astrological signs. We also see some other Hebrew signs and things of that nature. I'm not going to go like really deep into that because, like I said in the beginning, everybody has a different style of reading, okay? So I like to really focus on the colors. Again, wealth is a prominent sign of this. Really beautiful purples and gold that really just kind of, in your mind, it helps you to see royalty, okay? And it helps to connect back with those past lives where you were royalty, where you were the person in charge. You had the gold, you had the big castle, you had the servants, you had it your way, right? And so this is really just a nice confirmation that today is a day of connecting with wealth, okay? And it's also the number 10. So when you know also about numerology, the number 1, it really just is talking about you. So you're focusing on yourself, you're focusing on your wealth generation, okay? That's how I'm reading this card. The next one is the Princess of Swords, okay? So the Princess of Swords, a very interesting card. So we see here, we see some dark, almost black. We see also some like gray. We also see she's in green. So she's obviously like in a growth period, right? We also see some gold, yellow going on there, and she's defending something. There's something that she's defending, but the point of this card is that what she's defending, okay, doesn't need to be defended. Okay, so there's a part that is sensitive that is being defended, when in reality, letting down the guard, letting down that demeanor of defensiveness is really needed right now. Like as we can see here, let me move these over a little bit. So as we can see here with the black and the gray, those colors are being released out of her space. The green is her basically in a growth period where she's starting to realize, like, this is not, and this is with words again. So swords are the verbal communication. They're the words. They're the air of the whole deck, okay? And so we're gonna move on to the next one. So we have Fortune, which is a trump card, okay? And it's represented by the number 10. Again, we see the purple and we see the gold. Fortune, wealth, high havingness, having what you want, having what you've had before, and you're wanting to regain that. So we see that there is the wheel. It's almost like the Wheel of Fortune. Like if you've ever watched I remember my grandma like super into that show, Wheel of Fortune. And it's funny because like in life, we do have wheels of fortune. And today, which is Monday the 14th, we're seeing some fortune opportunities. Okay, so we have the gold, we have these different symbols around, but again, we have this purple, we have this lavender, we also have the number 10, which is 1. So focusing on self. 1 always really represents yourself, okay? And 2 is kind of like you and somebody else, things like that. I'm not going to really get into numerology right now, but let's keep moving on. So yeah, we're seeing some fortune, and this is a trumps card. So the trumps cards are telling the major story. So they are the major arcana. The minor arcana are like, the two of swords and things of that nature. The next one, another trumps card. Okay, so we have the princess, which is represented by the number 2. And I don't know why, but this, I probably because I am a 2 in numerology, this card really, really resonates with me. So we can see a lot of beautiful colors here, okay? We can see some blues, we can see some yellows. There's also a symbol of a camel. We have some purples, some greens, some golds. And in this image, she has her crown, and she has a net. Okay, so in her net, she's holding and securing her valuables. Okay, so the priestess, a lot of times people kind of relate it to an external god, but a lot of times these are representative of the person themselves, okay? So being and tapping into the goddess energy or the priestess energy within, you have so many jewels, you have so many things already within, because we see them more kind of, when I look at this card, I'm seeing it more of an internal reflection, okay? That's showing outwardly. So showing outwardly, these things, these objects in the world, in the earthly realm, I should say, put you at a status of high havingness. Okay, so having whatever it is you want, you already have it within. It's a matter of bringing it to the outside world. Okay, so the next one that came up was the Four of Discs, and it's representative of power. Okay, so when I look at this card, I really see the third chakra of the body. So the third chakra is our main power distribution center. How healthy is that power distribution center of your body, okay? And it's the sun in Capricorn is the kind of astrological connection here. We see some orange. We see a little bit of yellow. It's kind of whited out a little bit in the here, kind of in the four corners. But we see green, and we see the four elements. Okay, so when these elements are in balance, your power is on point. It's really when like one is out of whack with another, and it's really just off balance. That's kind of when you're susceptible to using judgment. When you can be in a neutral space in your body, things are balanced. Power distribution is on point. There is no question. You have this orange is really, I'm seeing it as amusement. I'm seeing it as bringing in and pushing out. It's kind of a really in and out balance. So you're bringing in the things that you want, and you're pushing out the things that you don't want. You're bringing in the things that you want, and you're pushing out the things that you don't want. A very, very effective power center, okay? The next card, and this one is a really cool. So it's the Nine of Cups, okay, and it's representing happiness. As we can see in this picture, things are just super flowing. We can see that gold flowing again. We see the purple, okay, but we see a little bit of red. So the red, I'm seeing that passion is really connecting to the aspect of wealth, the aspect of royalty, the aspect of really bringing in that happiness, that balance. Once again, I mean, we just saw balance on the earthly plane, and now we're seeing balance in the emotional plane. Cups represent the emotions, okay? So a lot of second chakra balancing in this one. Happiness. When you're happy, your emotions, they override the sadness, okay? Now the next card is going to be the moon in Aquarius, okay, and it's the Seven of Swords and futility. So here's a little bit of static. We see that icy. In this, when I look at this one, I see ice. I see coldness. I see really stagnant energy. So there's an aspect of energy that needs to be dissolved. Okay, we see some of the purple in the swords, but surrounding it is like this blue, we see kind of different variations of blue. So we see a little bit of dark blue kind of fading into white blue. We see some white, and there's sharp points. Okay, so swords again is dealing with words, and so when it comes to expressing the passion, or even expressing wealth, even just having that positive, I am a millionaire, I am worthy, I am wealthy. Like putting those words into your space will help really break this up. Okay, really break up this icy cold situation. And that's a very fantastic card to help with um, breaking through barriers, really, in your own consciousness, your own kind of barriers. Okay, so the next one is a really cool card also. So this is the Eight of Wands, and it has the word swiftness at the bottom. Okay, so there's going to be some fast action happening with changing the things that you don't want. So as we can see, the rainbow, so light, if you don't know, it is a rainbow. Although we only see like that yellow or whatever color that it may be emitting, when you break it down into a prism, it actually breaks down into different colors. And so we can see yellow, we can see green, we can see like a blue, and almost like a really light green, almost mint green. And the background is like this really faint lavender. Okay, and then we can see the rainbow bridge. So there is a bridge between these two signs, and with the indications of the red. Red always to me is just passion. So really like talking to your passion, getting in touch with the passion within, it's going to emanate, and just like boom, swiftness. It's going to like, it's almost like as soon as you recognize or connect with that, it's going to explode, but in a good way. Okay, we're going to bring in some yellow, which is energy, which is bringing growth, that gold factor. Okay, and then green, growth. We actually see a little bit of green here, right? Blue, I'm seeing blue in this card as like a grounding. So it's really grounding in the energy of this card, along with the lavender background that's really just holding it in, because it is wands. It's a fire. Okay, so it's fire. So we want to keep that fire contained. We don't want that fire to really escape and cause harm, because too much fire can do that. Okay, we have another wands card, and it's the Seven of Wands, which it has the word valor. And like I was just saying, too much fire can make things bust. Okay, as we can see here, the rod in the middle is almost like a fiery orange amber of a fire, right? We also see orange in the other staves. And then again, that purple is just really grounding in to your wealth, and grounding into high havingness. So with this fire element, it's just really important to have it grounded, like I said. So I don't have too much to say about this card. It's pretty self-explanatory. And just kind of like what I was saying here, of course you want to have like that nice idea, that explosion, that kind of like get you going. But you want to be careful. You want to be careful with too much fire. With Mars being in retrograde, too much fire can ruin things, okay? And then as we come to the last two cards, the second to the last card is the Two of Cups, which is love. So there's an element of partnership. There's an element of clear communication. I know that communication in a partnership can be ruined if it's not clear. But as we can see here, we have kind of a yellow green. We have that purple, almost, I would say that's really close to periwinkle. So it's like a bluish purple, okay? So really grounding. We also have at the bottom, on the camera, it's, I don't know, it's kind of not really capturing. I mean, it is a little bit, but like in person, like these colors here are a little bit lighter. So we have that green for growth. We have that yellow gold kind of for that shining your own light. And then we have again like a purpley blue at the bottom, which is really grounding in. We have the two fish here, with overflowing, cups, and this kind of pinkish red, just really passion. So there's the possibility, of finding a partnership that's going to be beneficial, and that the energy, the communication, and all of that is going to flow like water. And ending this reading, we're seeing the Six of Cups, which is pleasure, and just a really beautiful card. We have that beautiful blue in the background, and we have the oranges and reds that we saw from the partnership. We also have it's like a green, it's like a dark green going to a lighter green in the lower background. The camera's not exactly capturing the true colors, but as I'm looking at this card and I'm working the energy, I'm just seeing, the emotions for today. It's just going to be an overall complete fulfillment. Okay, so a fulfillment of pleasure. There's going to be an element of happiness. And we're seeing the sun is in Virgo. Okay, so very, very cool. So I appreciate you spending the time with me. I'm going to go ahead and cut the video here. If you like these type of videos, please leave a comment below to let me know. I'm wanting to change it up myself. I love Reiki. I love energy medicine. I love doing healings, but sometimes that's not really what people want to hear about, and people aren't really, I mean, I don't want to say they're not really, but they are interested in it kind of once they've experienced it. But when they haven't experienced it yet, it's not necessarily something that they're looking for. And because I've been practicing, reading cards and just having fun with it, I thought I'd include you guys. And yeah, so go ahead and leave a comment below. If you like this kind of content, please go ahead and like and subscribe, okay, so that others in the community can come through and show their support and also get some beneficial information. So this has been Alicia Antoinette, and I will check you guys out on the next one. Peace.